Assalamu alaikum everyone, I'm Sarmad Ashwaq from Paradigm Shift. Today we'll be covering the article titled Quaid Azam, Allama Iqbal and Pakistan's Historical Opposition to Israel. Before we begin, please do remember that this video is a simple summary of the article, and if you want a complete picture, you should go to our website and read the article there. Let's start. लोग समझते हैं कि पाकिस्तान की इजराइल की मुखालफत आज़ादी के बाद शुरू हुई थी, मगर ये बिल्कुल सच नहीं है, बल्कि कायद और अल्लामा ने बुनियादें रखी थी इस मुखालफत की आज़ादी से काफ़ी पहले. Let's start with the first section. Quaid Azam, Allama Iqbal and Pakistan's opposition to Israel. Quaid, Iqbal and other founding fathers की वजह से आज तक हमारे पासपोर्ट पे लिखा हुआ है कि this passport is valid for all countries of the world except Israel. Post World War I पे बात करते हैं. The aftermath of World War I brought significant geopolitical changes to the Middle East. The Ottoman Caliphate, which encompassed Palestine, was dismantled. Territories were divided between the United Kingdom and France through the Sykes-Picot Agreement, which was a very, very infamous agreement. This is the time when Britain was in control of Palestine, and उस वक्त Palestine को कहते थे mandatory Palestine. Amidst these changes, the British failed to honor their promises to Arab leaders who supported them during World War I ताकि Arabs को independence मिले, मगर Britain ने ये झूठ बोला था. The Balfour Declaration of 1917 further complicated matters. The declaration highlighted British support for a Jewish homeland in Palestine. इस मूव ने पैलेस्टीनियंस को बहुत अंडरमाइन किया था और मुस्लिम वर्ल्ड पैलेस्टीनियंस के लिए मज़ीद ज़्यादा आवाज़ उठानी शुरू हो गई थी. As the situation in Palestine escalated, leading to the Arab Revolt in Palestine, 1936 and 1939, the British responded with harsh measures, causing outrage not only in Palestine but also amongst Indian Muslims. Mr. Jinnah, in his presidential address to the All India Muslim League in 1937, stated, "Great Britain has dishonored her proclamation to the Arabs, which had guaranteed to them complete independence of the Arab homelands. After having utilized them by giving them false promises, they installed themselves as the mandatory power with that infamous Balfour Declaration. Fair-minded people will agree when I say that Great Britain will be digging its grave if she fails to honor her original proclamation." End quote. All India Muslim League और AIML ने मुस्तकिल तौर पर फ़लस्तीनी मकासद को सपोर्ट के लिए रेजोल्यूशंस पास किए, प्रोटेस्ट का इंतज़ाम किया और अरबों के साथ यकजहती का इजहार करने के लिए रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स भेजे. कायद ने यह भी बोला कि "You know the Arabs have been treated shamelessly. Men who, fighting for the freedom of their country, have been described as gangsters and subjected to all forms of repression. For defending their homelands, they are being put down at the point of the bayonet and with the help of martial laws. But no nation, no people who are worth living as a nation can achieve anything great without making great sacrifices, such as the Arabs of Palestine are making." End quote. अब आते हैं the Peel Commission and Allama Iqbal's stance पे. In July 1937, the Peel Commission attempted to investigate the causes of unrest in mandatory Palestine, and Britain ने produce की एक report which recommended the partitioning of the territory. This recommendation, combined with significant Jewish immigration to Palestine, had a profound impact on the global Muslim psyche. British mandate and उसकी anti-Arab policies को challenge करते Allama Iqbal ने फरमाया, "We must not forget that Palestine does not belong to England. She is holding it under a mandate from the League of Nations, which Muslim Asia is now learning to regard as an Anglo-French institution invented for the purpose of dividing the territories of weaker Muslim peoples. Nor does Palestine belong to the Jews who abandoned it of their own free will long before its possession by the Arabs." End quote. इकबाल के मुताबिक पैलेस्टाइन एक मुस्लिम प्रॉब्लम है, ना कि एक यहूदी या ईसाई इशू. He said, and I quote, "The problem studied in its historical perspective is purely a Muslim problem. Palestine ceased to be a Jewish problem long before the entry of Caliph Umar Raziyallahu Ta'ala Anhu into Jerusalem more than 1300 years ago. Their dispersion, as Professor Hawkins has pointed out, was perfectly voluntary, and their scriptures were for the most part written outside Palestine. Nor was it ever a Christian problem. Modern historical research has doubted even the existence of Peter the Hermit. Even if we assume that the Crusades were an attempt to make Palestine a Christian problem, the attempt was defeated by the victories of Salahuddin Ayyubi. I therefore regard Palestine as a purely Muslim problem. End quote. World War II और उसके बाद जो हुआ उस पर अब आते हैं. By the time World War II emerged on the global stage, Allama Iqbal had passed away sadly, leaving behind a legacy of passionate support for the Palestinian cause through his poems, statements, and speeches. The All India Muslim League continued to honor his legacy not only by pursuing the creation of Pakistan, but also by standing resolutely in support of Palestine. World War II के दौरान जब ब्रिटिश ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम लीग से मदद तलब कर रहे थे तो कई प्रो पैलेस्टीनियन अमल किए गए. मिसाल के तौर पर AIML ने पैलेस्टाइन डे 26 अगस्त 1938 में इंडिया में मनाया. द वाइट पेपर ऑफ 1939 पर अब आते हैं. In July 1939, the British government issued the White Paper of 1939, which recommended the establishment of a Jewish home within an independent Palestinian state within the next 10 years. It also ordered that Jewish immigration should be limited, subject to Arab consent. Many Arab leaders, along with the Jewish community, rejected this proposal outright. Mr. Jinnah voiced his criticism of the White Paper, insisting that the original promises made to the Arabs during World War I should be honored. Mr. Jinnah ने एक पैलेस्टाइन फंड का भी आगाज किया ताकि पैलेस्टीनियंस जिनके बड़े और बच्चे शहीद हो रहे थे उनको सपोर्ट मिल सके. पोस्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर II, क्रिएशन ऑफ पाकिस्तान एंड इजराइल पर अब आते हैं. The post-World War II period marked a significant turning point in history as two nations emerged into existence, Pakistan and Israel. These nations were born within months of each other, sharing the complex backdrop of a world reeling from the consequences of war. Pakistan, under the capable leadership of Mr. Jinnah, achieved independence on 14th August 1947. Mr. Jinnah, hailed as the father of the nation, overcame the challenges of British imperial rule and a Hindu majority Congress in India to carve out Pakistan. इसी पीरियड में इजराइल एक अलग मुल्क बन जाता है on May 14, 1948. Pakistan and Israel are considered the only two nations in the world जो कि religious ideology पे कायम किए गए थे. This followed the United Nations partition plan for Palestine, which sought to create separate states for both Jews and Arabs, along with an international regime for Jerusalem. Jerusalem को ये चाह रहे थे कि इंटरनेशनल एक सिटी डिक्लेयर कर दें. इस प्लान की वजह से पैलेस्टीनियंस और जूस में बहुत सख्त लड़ाई शुरू हो जाती है, जिसमें दूसरे अरब ममालिक भी शामिल होते हैं, मगर इजराइल इन सबको इवेंचुअली हरा देता है. लास्ट पार्ट पे आते हैं आर्टिकल के. शुड पाकिस्तान रिकग्नाइज इजराइल? ऑथर कहते हैं कि हमें फाउंडिंग फादर्स की राह पे चलना चाहिए एंड इजराइल को तस्लीम बिल्कुल नहीं करना चाहिए. कायद ने फेमसली कहा था कि इजराइल वेस्ट का एक इललेजिटिमेट चाइल्ड है, जबकि इकबाल ने कहा था कि पर्सनली आई वुड नॉट माइंड गोइंग टू जेल ऑन द इशू व्हिच अफेक्ट्स बोथ इस्लाम एंड इंडिया. द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ अ वेस्टर्न बेस ऑन द वेरी गेट्स ऑफ द ईस्ट इज अ menace to both. End quote. Thank you to the author for submitting this important article to us. If you are interested in submitting your work, please go to paradigmshift.com.pk and become a published author. आपको क्या लगता है पैलेस्टाइन इशू कैसे रिजॉल्व हो सकता है? थ्रू डायलॉग या इसका कोई जंगी हल ही है? Please comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.